Hello, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to this next episode in the program. Today, we're going to be talking about the unique process video framework. Okay. So in the previous episode, I know that I actually went through basically how you can build out your case study VSL. Okay. Now, for some of you, all right, I also recognize that there's a good mix of agency owners in here. Obviously, there's, high level agency owners who have tons of case studies, tons of testimonials to work with, but there's also some of you that maybe don't. You don't have maybe that proof of concept yet built. Maybe you do have a few clients, but you just haven't, pulled in enough data, enough results for them quite yet. That's totally fine. Okay. So I want to help you actually build your VSL that doesn't actually require to have video testimonials. Okay. This is more so just going to be walking through the roadmap and your unique mechanism or your unique process. Okay. So let's get right into the lesson plan, all right? So the unique mechanism video structure. So first things first, you're going to call out your audience, all right? So depending on who your audience is, you're going to call them out. You're going to state your offer and guarantee, and then you're going to state your unique process and how it's so powerful at getting results, okay? So this is very, very, similar to the case study VSL. Again, the only difference is you're not walking through a case study or testimonials or previous client results. We're going through a roadmap, okay? So the next thing, okay, is you're going to jump into your flowchart or your roadmap, all right? So you need to clearly state where these businesses are typically at, okay? So touch on their main pain points and their struggles. Identify the exact components holding them back, okay? Components that they know and components that they're not even aware of, all right? This is very, very important because there's a lot of business owners, they know what they need to do. They know what they need to do, and they're just not doing it, right? But there's also an extra layer to this where these clients, these prospects, they don't understand, like they're not even aware of certain things that they're not even doing. So if you can enlighten them, that will just create more layers of trust that they have in you. And they'll also place you as the authority because they'll be like, oh, wow, like not only is he mentioning things that I do know these things and this is true, right? It's going to reaffirm to them like he's saying true and honest things. But then when you start going into like the components that they're not even really that aware of, that's when they're going to be like, wow, like, this guy really knows what he's talking about, right? This girl really knows what he's talking about. So that's what you want to make sure of, okay? So components that they know and components that they're not even aware of, right? So the more pain that you can identify of theirs, the more they will think, wow, she really gets what I'm going through, okay? You want to be able to create that in their mind, all right? So comfort them and then relate to them, all right? This is very, very important, right? You're not giving a lecture, okay? You don't want to just be bashing this person's business. This is probably this person's like life. This is their livelihood, right? This is what they use to support themselves, their families, right? This is probably their passion. They probably invested tons of money into this. So you're not coming in here being like bad cop, trying to, make fun of them or try to like wring them out or anything like that. Like you want to be able to comfort them and relate to them, okay? So you need to make it clear that you've seen this all before and act very calm and activist as if it's not a big deal, okay? The best way I can describe this is your body language, right? So you need to come off in a very calm, smooth, and just cool, collected way, all right? You need to be laid back, your posture is good, and you need to put them at ease, all right? This is typically in the point of the VSL where you actually start talking a little bit slower because that will communicate to the actual viewer that like you're coming off in a more comforting way, all right? When you're talking faster and you're starting to get more excited and you're getting more hand gestures and things like that, that's when you're coming from a place of like power and authority in a sense. But if you come back, you slow things down a little bit, you carry yourself with a little bit more elegance, that's going to put them more at ease, okay? So this is more of like language psychology in a sense, but you need to make sure that like these are some things that you follow, okay? Okay. So then again, so you need to make sure that like this isn't a lecture, okay? So then after you basically put them, in a comforting spot, you relate to them, you make them feel a little bit more comfortable. You need to lay out the actual process of what you do to get your clients results and fix their problems, okay? So be aware that everyone learns differently, obviously written, visual, and sound. So this is why the flowchart is so effective, okay? So you can communicate your process in all three ways, all right? So clearly state the solution that you provide with this process. So make them well aware that their problems can be solved with your unique process. With each problem you identified, you need to showcase your solution, okay? So communicate how your unique process actually solves the problems that you've identified. So you're going to be coming up with a lot of problems. You're going to be basically pointing out all of the problems within their business of why they're not already at the point of what they're trying to achieve, okay? So each problem that you identify, you need to always relate it back to those problems. Relate your solutions back to the problem. Say, hey, listen, remember this problem that I mentioned to you? This solution, this right here is going to actually solve this, right? You need to make them very, very aware of that. Now, the more that you do that, that's going to take up the bulk of your video. Okay, so you're going to be identifying, again, a lot of the problems, going back into the solutions that you've identified and you've created through your unique process, and you're going to be relating it back to the problems. Okay, after you've done all that, you need to be able to swing in to the call to action to book in a call. Okay, so direct them to book in a call. Make sure that you present the standard of your clients that you work with. State your offer and guarantee once again, and then provide that final call to action. Okay, direct them to book in a call once again. So very, very simple. Like I said, ladies and gentlemen, this is very, very similar to the case study VSL. When I actually had my case study VSL, I actually built this out and split tested it. Both performed very, very well. They both performed almost, I would say the case study VSL worked a little bit better because you're using the client testimonials, but this one worked very well because it allows you to basically showcase like your unique process. It's something that no other agency owner is doing because it's unique to you. Okay. And you don't need to use these like marketing gimmick names to name your unique process or nothing like that. As long as you have this special process that you can actually show people and it's actually, viable, like you can actually do it. That's the biggest thing. Like you don't want to be creating this roadmap that is like completely unattainable and unachievable. You want to build something that you're actually going to do. Okay. That's very, very important. Okay. So again, it's going to help you guys out a lot. Okay. So when I actually split test this on my own end, I did find the case study VSL worked a little bit better, but this one also performed very, very well. So if you don't have testimonials, you don't have that social proof quite yet, you don't need to worry. All right. Utilize this. So action steps for today: build out your flow chart, build your roadmap. Okay. I probably mentioned this in multiple modules. Like you need to build this roadmap. It's very, very important. And it's going to be very vital, especially down the road when you get into your sales process. Okay. So build your flow chart. Script write your VSL video, and then use the plug and plays that we've provided you. Okay. So in this module, in this module, we're going to be providing tons of plug and plays. Okay. So as this program is updated as well too on a quarterly basis, we will make you guys aware of all of the new plug and plays, everything. So definitely tune into these plug and plays. It's going to help you script write your VSL. It's going to help you frame your offers. It's going to help you actually build out your agency roadmap, things like that. So go into the plug and play section in this module and actually go and look at those plug and plays. Okay. Use them to the best of your abilities, leverage them as best as possible, and they will help you out tremendously. Okay. So ladies and gentlemen, I hope you guys enjoyed this module, and I will see you guys in the next one.